Welcome. For this one, we're going to do the 4.3 part 2, starting with graph the function. First you have f of x equals x. So here's your f of x. And the next one is the absolute value of f of x, which I'm going to do in purple. And the absolute value here would be the g of x. And note that the g of x is both a positive and a negative component with a x-intercept, y-intercept at the origin. So in order to write that, you've got the negative slope, which is negative x, and that is when x is less than 0, and the positive subfunction x when x is greater than or equal to 0. Here's another one that the thing to note here that's different is the fact that there is a translation, a horizontal shift to the left. And the question is, given this as a piecewise or given this as an absolute value, how are they related? Well, slopes are opposite. They have a single point where it changes direction. You could say vertex. Some other things to notice is that you have a slope of 1 or negative 1 for both of these. You have a horizontal shift of it's x minus h, so it would be or x minus negative 3. Same thing here, same thing here. So really, when you're doing these absolute value functions, you're doing piecewise functions to write a subfunction for each part of it. All right, and then let's go to here. Okay, here's another one. Let's say you're given the absolute value function. Notice it's a x minus 1, so your piecewise function you're going to have also is going to be an x minus 1. And notice this one has a vertical shift of 2, so you're also going to have a vertical shift of 2. So you really have the negative and the positive 1 slopes, up 1 over 1. And this one goes down 1 over 1. And then you can see that it's right here at x equals 1 where it changes. So the first part is, we're going to say less than 1. The second part is going to be greater than or equal to 1. And then there's another example here which has a little bit of everything. So things to notice on here. The slopes, negative 3 and 3, we're going to say 3. And because it's the absolute value function, we're going to be able to see both the positive and negative slope there. The other thing is, this is what it's going to look like when we graph it. And notice what we did is we realized this point right here is at negative 2, 1. That's my vertex for this absolute value function. And so that negative 2, 1, the negative 2 is coming from the x plus 2, right? And then the plus 1 is coming from the vertical piece of it. Okay, so that would be the absolute value. So you can see there's two ways to write either of these functions here. You can either use the absolute value, or you can do it as a piecewise function with two linear